right. I am here with the one and only, the great Velasco.
Yo.
Now, just so people get a little bit of background from Velasco, we should know that he makes beats, he makes rap, he produces. Right. I mean, he's just all over the place as far as rap is concerned. Exactly. So explain a little bit about who you are and how you really got into this.
Well, dang, to start off is pretty back. I started making music, I would say 9th grade, bro. 9th grade, probably inspired by my brother and like just dope artists that I like. Charles Hamilton, he's definitely one of my favorite artists. But yeah, other than that, got inspired. Started making music with one of my high school friends. His name was Blaze. He doesn't rap anymore, you remember, but yeah, just got inspired, started making music, started attempting to like, I think my uncle had bought me like the whole studio thing. So yeah, just started making music with my brother, trying it out, and I was really just recording my brother and engineering him. So for the first like couple of years I was doing that. Then I got more into it. Then I started like looking into making beats, engineering, just rapping with other people. I was bringing people to my house to record them. A bunch of people from Hialeah that I can name. And yeah, bro, just started when I was like, 15? And I'm still at it. I'm now freaking 23. Still trying to make it, bro. Same old, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that a lot of people that end up creating music come from backgrounds where it was really a prominent theme in their life. Like, music was important in their family. It was something that sort of brought them together. How important is music to your family, and how do you think that affected you and the decisions you made in life that led you to this point?
Well, my family listens to music like heavy. My dad is huge on like Motown, Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, freaking, you name it, bro. Quincy Jones. He's listening to all that type of stuff. My dad's Cuban, so he's also listening to like Cuban stuff. But mostly, that's what inspired me. Like just listening to like those 80s music, 90s music. I'm like, damn, this is dope. Then my dad would sometimes listen to rap music. He'll show me some rap stuff, and I'll be like, okay, this is dope. I remember the first time I got into hip hop was because of Sean Paul and 50 Cent. Literally, I remember my brother and I, we first started hearing, I don't know if it was a Sean Paul song or the 50 song, but we first started hearing it and we're like, yo, what the hell, this is dope. Like, rap is, I like this or whatever. And then, yeah, that was probably like in what, like 2nd grade, 3rd grade when that came out. And ever since 50 Cent came out with Get Rich or Die Trying, I just been listening to hip hop ever since. And yeah, my parents are definitely big on 80s music, 90s and all that. So yeah, definitely influence comes from there.
Yeah, and another prominent theme when it comes to, musicians in general has to do with the idea of just taking drugs. It's just huge in the music business. Super. And I understand that, you've been a stoner for just a very long time. I mean, weed is just about as inspirational a drug as you can get.
Right.
And weed really does inspire creativity. I mean, I don't think anyone can really deny that at this point. At least not anyone that knows what they're talking about.
Right.
How influential do you think weed has been for you? And how has it inspired creativity in your life?
Well, weed, for starters, when I first started smoking weed, bro, like, I thought it was the greatest thing on earth. Like, I remember the first blunt I had smoked was with one of my boys that lived in my building, and he would always come home. I'm talking with, like, in Arizona, 2 big-ass bags of freaking chips, and I'm just asking him, like, bro, you okay? Like, you always come back, and his eyes are super red, and he's telling me, like, yeah, man, I just smoked a blunt, blah, blah, blah. And he's telling me, like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna get you high one day, bro. Like, we're gonna smoke. And then whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm just, like, pushing him off about it. I'm not really caring. And then one day, I'm like, you know what, bro? I think it's that day. Eventually started smoking. And, bro, I tell you, the first day I smoked, I still remember. It was, like, a couple blocks from my house. I'm walking, and the lights are, like, fucking so bright. Like, I remember going to my house the first day and just feeling, I remember the beginning days of smoking weed, like, definitely, I used to wake up high still. And those feelings were so weird. I remember listening to music while, like, first started smoking weed, super different, like, from being sober and listening to it. And I could definitely tell you that I got better at rapping after smoking weed. Like, it's a fact. Like, I feel like before I was fucking ass.
Yeah.
We curse, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, it was super ass. And weed definitely helped me produce. Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't even know how to explain it sometimes. Like, I feel like creativity with weed is super key. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, it's really, what can I say? I don't know. It's just super, super dope that.
Well, weed is interesting. It's really interesting when it comes to creativity because of the fact that when you smoke weed, it's almost like you're doing something for the first time. So you look at it completely differently. It's nothing like doing it sober, because when you do it sober, it's like a continuation of everything that you've done before. Weed sort of makes you snap out of whatever way of thinking you had before.
Exactly.
And it brings in something new.
It's a different perspective. Like, you hear things differently. You freaking tasting things differently. Like, all your senses are working like times 80. So it's like, it was a lot to take in for like being 15 and stuff. And I don't know, I've never had a bad trip. And if I did, probably, I don't know, who knows, I probably felt really bad or had a little headache or whatever, smoking horrible weed at that age, like regs and shit. I didn't know what good weed was and shit. But I definitely had the best times of my life, like with weed in them, for sure.
I can imagine. But the artists, they don't stop there. I mean, they really push they push that shit to the limit.
I feel like there's not to interrupt you, I feel like there's a time to stop. Like, you can't smoke too much weed. I feel like your brain gets clouded and like, I don't know, I've been there for sure, where if I'm overdoing it and I'm like, I don't really like it. I just like the first blunt. That's it. When that high comes in, bomb, it's like super fresh, and I just love that feeling. But I've done like 6 blunts back to back with homies and stuff, and I'm like, I think it's too much sometimes. So I feel like you gotta pace yourself with that. Can't do too much. Can't do too much of anything. So
well, we were talking about this earlier about seeing weed as a tool rather than just something that's always the best thing to do.
Right. It's definitely a tool when you need it. It's not like an every moment type of thing. Like, sometimes it's better to just be sober, and like there's certain things. Like, I remember I used to freaking go to college blasted, and horrible trip.
Horrible, right?
I remember the first time I went was with one of my boys, and I think by accident I hotboxed with him like an idiot. And bro, I walked in that class, bro, nothing but stares. Like, feeling super nervous.
Oh my god.
Why is the professor looking at me too much? Like, I was like, dude, I'm never getting stoned and going to college again. Like,
I had the same experience.
Like, I'm never... See, that's why I say, like, weed is only good for, like... There's a time and place for it. Other than that, don't be doing it on some,
Yeah, it's something about weed that can sort of get you self-conscious and, like, overly introspective, like, overly...
thinking. You're thinking of way too much, bro. Like, and sometimes you would expect weed to do the, like the difference, like, the different, like,
The exact opposite of
I mean, my fault. You would expect the exact opposite, like, just be thinking about nothing, just chilling, zoning and stuff, but sometimes... I guess in the area you're at, school was definitely not the right spot to be smoking weed.
Yeah. I had a similar problem too, because one time I showed up to my psychology class and I had this, I really would love to, participate in the class and, try to just work with everybody in there and the professor. But I showed up stoned as fuck.
Yeah, I don't recommend it, bro.
Yeah.
People are judging you. That's another thing.
Oh my
People
God.
are judging you from left and right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's smoking weed. Like, it's like, dude, come on. That's just 2019.
Well, what I was worried about, it's not even like the judgment. It was just me. I was just weirded out by the whole thing. It was like, I've been in this room so many times, but I've never been in this fucking room. This is another room.
Right.
As soon as you take those couple of hits, right? So I walked in there, and the professor is looking at me like, oh, all right, fuck it. It is what it is,
Yeah, he knows.
She had other students that were doing the same thing. This is a community college.
Right.
We're talking
like,
about.
Don't act stupid. Like,
so in a community college, it's just, half the people there just genuinely don't give a fuck.
For sure.
Right? You go to the bathroom, you see people that, just... emptied out the Dutches and put that stuff all over the toilet. Oh my God, it's terrible, right? So
especially community college. Bro.
Exactly. So I show up to the classroom and usually I participate, and I was like, okay, I'm not participating. Is this weird? Is everyone on to me now? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So I raise my hand and I answer a fucking question, but I felt like I screamed it out because I didn't want to say it too low. I didn't want to be like.
Right.
And mumble it out, so I just screamed out. I was like, the answer is this, And
you're just overthinking about every little thing.
Yes, and there's people that doesn't happen to.
Literally, there's people that get the opposite feeling.
Yeah, there's people that just smoke all fucking day, and it's just like, it's nothing.
That's why I say weed's not for everybody.
It's definitely not for everybody. It doesn't affect everyone the same way. That's one of the problems. Is like some people think like, oh, you just,
you get high and you eat munchies. Like, no, it's not like that. Like,
and some people think it's like a mental issue, like, oh, it's just because you don't know how to chill the fuck out, you don't know this and that. But if you give, some people who have a really nice time on weed, you give them a couple of drinks and they turn into a fucking savage.
Right. So it's literally based on the person.
Whereas I take a couple of drinks and I'm just having a good time with everybody and trying to have a nice conversation. I wanted to ask you about drinking as well. How do you feel about drinking and creativity, or do you think it's just counterproductive? Because a lot of people just get creative when they drink. It's not even that they write anything important down when they drink. It's that, like, they have that good time and they come up with some ideas.
On the moment.
And then the next day, after they're hungover, they're like, oh, something awesome happened there.
Right.
And now I'm going to decipher that and turn it into art. How do you feel about that?
I feel like drinking was never a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dad... He definitely drinks a little bit too much. I don't know if it's because he doesn't smoke weed now, but I don't know, man. Like, the only times I ever would drink was probably, like, if I ever go to a bar or, like, my friends are drinking, like, social drinking. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But, like, just drinking off the bat, just like, yo, let me just get a bottle, let me drink, and make a song.
Yeah. It wouldn't work, right?
I've never done it, to be honest. Like, I've never really made music drunk.
Would you ever try that?
I'll try it, definitely. But I feel like, I know how I get drunk, so it's like, when I'm at the bar, I'm already like, I just kind of want to go home.
Yeah.
I'm already too drunk. I want to freaking, I don't know, I feel like being drunk is a whole complete different vibe from getting stoned. But I do agree with you that is people's choice. Like, people really do enjoy drinking, like, as much as smoking weed. So it's like...
And a whole bunch of other stuff, too, that you would think would be, like, counterproductive. Like, people that take lean and opioids and stuff like that.
Xanax.
And they actually write music that they wouldn't have written sober. It's a weird thing. I don't know if it has to do with, like, that they got addicted and now they can't do anything or function.
It's either that or they're really super, like, because I know when people are on Xans, like, there is no shy meter. Like,
no, you don't give a fuck.
You're just like, yo, it is what it is, bro. Like, you have no worry in you about being shy or about talking about certain things. Like, bro, you're rapping. I'm pretty sure. I know some rappers that do that. They take Xans and they just freestyle. Like, they just freestyle the music, which is like, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, bro. Like, I've only got stoned in my whole life, so I've never taken any other drugs, so I can't speak for myself. But what I've seen from people, it's like
it doesn't look good, right? It doesn't look good for the most part.
For the most part, it doesn't look good, but they say they enjoy it. So
they definitely enjoy it.
And lean and stuff. I've actually done lean once only, and I don't know if it was the like super legit lean, the actual activist or whatever, but I don't know, maybe I didn't take enough, but I felt normal.
Yeah, it probably wasn't enough, because if you would have taken some lean, I mean, that shit is basically liquid heroin.
Yeah, I know, I heard about that. That's horrible.
It is an opioid.
That's horrible. I'll probably never take it again.
Yeah. It's a dangerous road to go down, because on one hand, I mean, drugs, they give you, like, they can give you a really awesome time. They
give you that great feeling at the moment.
Exactly.
It's like you feel like you just feel really great, and you just always want to feel like that. Right. But you realize you can't always feel like that, bro. So, it is what it is. I don't know. I feel like I don't even think drinking lean is like, why would you even drink that before making music? It's like you're trying to go to sleep or you're trying to make music. So, I don't know. And there's people that freaking chug them shits, and they're taking how much is? I think you're supposed to only take like 3 ounces of lean or 4 ounces. There's people taking 8 ounces. Like, that's how people overdose and shit. So, I don't know. Like, how I see it is just everybody has a different cup of tea, but I'm not with the drugs. Like, getting stoned and making music will forever be my, like, cup of tea for sure.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Definitely can't top that.
Yeah, I don't see you stopping anytime soon.
Even, I'll do it sober before I drink and make music, or take a Xan and make music. I'm still wondering when I'm going to take other drugs.
I wouldn't tell you to take a Xan.
No, I'll never take a Xan.
I would never
I meant like a shroom or something.
Oh, like a psychedelic,
like
maybe.
a psychedelic.
That'll definitely take creativity to another level.
Extremely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to take it maybe when I'm older.
Yeah.
Maybe like super comfortable somewhere.
Right. Yeah, you have to be super comfortable because the problem with psychedelics is like when you take it, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
That's what I'm scared about.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
Yes.
worry, bro. So that's why I don't take it, and that's why I want to do it when I'm super secured and I'm like super sure, like, yo, nothing could really happen to me right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, or maybe just when I'm older and I don't give a fuck anymore. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to try like shrooms or like something that's natural, bro. Like I can't be taking lean, I can't be taking Xans or Percocets. Like that's another thing. People like taking Percocets, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't see I hear you get super itchy when you take it.
I mean, opioids are just, they can feel fucking amazing.
Right.
I mean, people...
You're just scratching yourself and it feels great, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm
people say it's like, fucking getting hugged by God or something,
Future is taking Percocets like nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he says, I think I heard him in an interview say that he doesn't take them like that he doesn't get drugged out.
Right. He doesn't take drugs no more. Like, supposedly he's not drinking lean no more.
Right.
This and that. So, whatever. He could be saying the truth, but on his music, he's just nothing but saying, like, yo, Percocet this, Xanax that. Like, I don't know.
Well, in terms of like you taking psychedelics one day, I can't tell you yes or no.
Right.
But I can't really recommend it because it'd be irresponsible for me to sit here and tell you like, yeah, take that shit.
Right.
It'll save your life. It'll change everything. It'll make everything perfect because it's not really...
I just feel like when I do, if I take it, like that'll be like the biggest spur of the moment for me in my life because I just literally like went to a whole fucking other world. Like I just took shrooms. Like I don't know. I feel like it'll be a super dope experience.
Well, look, it'll definitely inspire creativity and just to get some background noise out of here, just to clear things up a little bit. I think there's some things that we should tell just not even just you, but like everyone who's listening to this before they take a psychedelic, right? So like some things to consider is like set, right? Which is, your mindset
for sure
going into the experience.
Definitely gotta be feeling good and happy. Can't be on some like depressed.
Exactly.
Because I'll definitely get a bad trip probably. I've heard people get bad trips and I'm like, damn, that's exactly what I don't want.
They're terrible. I mean, I've been through it like really, really bad. It's a terrible experience to have.
I would be terrified.
Yes.
Bro.
But it can be really
eye-opening.
It can definitely give you a different perspective on things, especially if it's at a really high dose of a psychedelic drug, because then you experience, what people call ego death.
Right.
Which is sort of like...
Your ego dies?
Yeah, well, it's sort of a subjective idea. Like some people, some people don't even think that it exists, but it's basically the idea. I disagree with that. I do think it exists. I think I've been there and it was...
Right.
Fucking life-changing, right?
Okay.
So it's basically the idea that your sense of self disappears.
You're just... That's insane.
You don't exist anymore. Or, it's like you don't exist, but you're everything at the same time. Right. So the ego disappears, which means there is no you. And so... Perhaps you're having
just super pure,
and you're having this experience of like being one with everything, being connected with everything, and that can be the most euphoric and beautiful thing ever.
Yeah.
But it can also be terrifying.
Right.
But I don't think it's necessarily the ego death that's terrifying. I think it's the process of getting there. Because when you take a drug, if you're reaching that point and you've never been there, you can be like, oh shit, I'm dying.
Right.
I'm dying. Something is going to kill me. There's this like
something's happening.
Monstrous spirit that's taking over me and going to kill me.
Right.
That's the scary part, because once you get there, you're free. There's no you.
You already did it. Like,
for other people, it might be different. But for me, in my experience, after I launch out into that space,
right,
it's a completely different experience for me.
If I had to take anything, what do you think you would recommend? Shrooms?
If I would tell you to take anything, I wouldn't tell you to take anything, first of all, that you would, you know, be able to get up and hurt yourself or do something ridiculous.
Right. No, yeah, of course.
Because I've been through similar experiences where you just lose control, and it's just not a good idea.
What about shrooms though? Is
Shrooms will definitely, if you take a high dose and you don't have anybody who knows what they're doing there to help you or guide you, you could end up walking through the street butt ass naked and just, you know, just acting like an idiot and end up getting arrested. It's a real possibility. Like, some people want to pretend like this doesn't happen. This stuff happens.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
That's what I'm scared of. Like, that's why I said,
when people ask me, like, what is the safest psychedelic to take, and it sounds counterintuitive, but actually I think the safest psychedelic that one can take is the most intense, or arguably the most intense. Some people say it's salvia that's the most intense, which is probably, maybe it's true.
Holy
right?
crap, salvia?
I've never taken it, right?
I've heard Miley Cyrus take it.
You're not really going to have a good trip on salvia.
No?
You know, the vast majority of people that take salvia, they have a horrible experience. It's just something about the chemical makeup of that drug that makes it
What is salvia, though, itself?
Salvia is a psychedelic. It's a complete psychedelic. It's just as intense as DMT, if not stronger.
Stronger?
Yeah, it could be stronger, yeah. Yeah, so if I were to tell anyone to take something, it would probably be DMT, and with somebody that knows what they're doing next to them. Because
honestly, DMT?
When you take DMT, you sort of just lie back.
I heard, yeah.
You know, it's like you're
just envisioning it in your mind?
Yeah, and you don't really move.
All right.
You don't really move much. Obviously, you want to be like in a comfortable setting, maybe like in a bed or somewhere where you can just fall back.
Relax,
Because you probably want to take the hit standing up, and then you lie back.
I've seen people take it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And they said it feels like a lifetime.
My God, it feels like fucking years. But the problem with it is how quick it comes on. DMT is like one of the quickest
highs.
It's so fucking quick, and it's over before you know it. And it seems so weird. Right? It's like almost oxymoronic because of the fact that like you're taking something that is over so quick, but at the same time, it's also something that is gonna fucking feel like you've been there for years. Right? So that's a very weird place to be. You know, so in terms of drugs and everything, I mean, it's a weird scenario that we're in. I don't really think we understand drugs and how to use them, or
I don't think anybody has yet.
Yeah,
like fully to.
No, we haven't figured it out. Some people are able to balance it specifically for their life, and some people
just for them, their body and stuff. Yeah, but they don't really know the proper dosage. No. We're just literally experiments. We're just trying.
We're guinea pigs. All of us are guinea pigs. Nobody knows everything about any single drug, right? So and you know, the rap game is a weird place when it comes to drugs. A very weird place when it comes to drugs, because they have like a very specific drug culture. It's not something that you really see in other places. Right. So like the whole lean culture, you might see other people, you know, drinking lean, but not the way that it's been turned into a culture when it comes to rap.
Yeah.
You know,
people are just doing it for fun, literally.
Right. I think it was something that started in Texas, right? Wasn't it a Texas thing where lean was...
Bun B and Pimp C.
Yeah, those people.
Freaking Pimp C.
Yeah.
He had died of an overdose on lean.
Right.
And people are still doing it, bro.
People are still doing it.
They don't care,
People aren't going to stop, you know. I just wish that people were more educated about this stuff, you know, because and the other thing is the fact that it's illegal makes it so that people can get some really ridiculous shit out there that could end up killing them. Right.
Some super generic, or you don't even know what it is, and people are just taking it from random drug dealers. Like that, all that I'm scared of. I can't even do that, bro. I can't be taking random drugs from people I don't even know.
Especially if it's a pill or something like that.
Yeah, that's out of maybe trees, you know, I'll deal with it. If it's some lace shit, fuck it. Like, I could probably fight that. But
Yeah.
a pill that's, like, laced with some crate, like, nah, I can't do it.
I think it's about 130 people that are dying every single day here in the U.S. from an opioid
Yeah, I had
overdose.
seen that. That's insane, bro. Like,
It's
there's a lot of
ridiculous.
artists that have died already
Yeah.
just overdosing.
It's-
Lil Peep
Lil Peep died.
off the fentanyl, right?
It was fentanyl, which is a lot. It's an opioid, but it's a hell
It's
of a
in
lot stronger.
Isn't that like? Didn't he get like confused, or he got I think he was trying to get Xanax.
I think he
and
was trying to
ended
get
up-
Xanax, and
he
it was
ended up getting that.
laced with fentanyl,
See, there you go.
and that's what happens.
I'll shit my pants, dude. Like, I can't deal with. I don't even like pills, swallowing them. So that I'll never be taking pills. I know
Yeah.
that for a fact.
Yeah,
But
well-
mushrooms, definitely. Maybe one day I just might.
I promise you, if you take DMT, it'll be over quick. It'll be like
That
it'll be like getting pinched.
Has anyone died from DMT?
No,
Never.
never. You're not gonna die from DMT.
No.
No. How could you?
First of all, how are you even getting DMT and?
Oh my God, there's people. There's people.
What does it look like?
What does it look like? It's a brown powder. It's a brown powder.
And how are they-
And it has a really distinct smell.
Where is it coming from though? Like, it's a plant.
People make it. Oh, it's in most plants, I think. DMT
Okay.
is produced naturally in most plants, and I think it's produced naturally in humans in the pineal gland, but I'm not sure if it is. I don't know if that's been proven, but I know they've found it in the pineal glands of other animals.
Right.
So they do have DMT. It is not just
Isn't
in plants.
DMT in our brains or whatever?
Well, there's this hypothesis that when you're dreaming, what that is like a little
Right.
DMT
Yes,
trip.
that's exactly.
And it's weird because you know how when you have a dream, you wake up and you're telling everybody what happened, and then 5 hours later they ask you and you're like,
You forgot.
what are you talking about? I don't even remember that, right?
Exactly.
I know I had a dream, but I don't remember what was in it. That happens when you take DMT too, because once it's over, you forget like a whole bunch of it.
Heck no.
And
No
it's
way.
so weird.
That sucks.
It's so weird because
I would love to remember everything. Like.
right. And people have ideas about why that happens. Like some
Okay.
people think like it's too much for you to take
To handle.
like on a conscious level, right?
Right.
Because some people think that when you take a psychedelic, what you're happening is you're unlocking your subconscious mind.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
everything that's locked in there gets
coming
laced
out. It's
with
coming.
everything that's conscious.
Okay.
And that's maybe that's why it feels like you're so connected to everything, right? Because your unconscious and your conscious are like just together, right? That's such a weird feeling, right?
I want to feel it.
Yeah.
I wish we could all feel it without taking drugs. Like.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Well, some people meditate and they get really weird experiences. Like I meditate on a regular basis,
Okay.
and it's sometimes I've never had a hallucination or anything like
Right.
that, but I have seen like closed eye colors, things of that nature. Like when you close your eyes, you see some colors, and I get this really intense euphoria sometimes that you get when you're meditating for a long time.
For a long time.
And for me, it starts off sort of like a sensation at the bottom of your spine,
Okay.
and it just rises up little by little, and it gets all the way to your brain, and then it just feels like a fucking explosion
That's
that
dope.
happens in there. It's like really just euphoria. It's like a spiritual experience. Meditation is really a spiritual experience.
I
in
hear
many
breathing
ways.
tricks help.
Well, meditation is a concentration technique in most ways.
Is breathing a part of it? Like
Oh
the
yeah,
way you
yeah.
breathe, like
Well, the
breathing
way
tricks?
I do it is it's definitely like so. What I do, and I explain this. I mean, it's really easy to meditate. It's like 3 simple steps. So like the first thing you do is you sit down
Yeah.
with your back straight in a comfortable position, or you
Right.
can lie down
Goes on a bed.
on a bed.
Okay.
Right, as long as you're comfortable and your back is straight.
Right.
And what you do is you close your eyes and you focus on the sensation of the breath. So like, how does it feel, for example, on the tip of your nose when the air is going in and going out? And you just focus on that feeling, right?
Okay.
You're just in the moment experiencing that. But what's going to happen when you do that is your mind is going to start racing all over the place.
Shit.
You're going to start thinking about, my God, should I hit this girl up?
Really?
Should I do this? Did I miss work?
Okay.
what's going on. You're gonna start thinking about a million things, right? And so what you got to do when that happens is notice that you got distracted,
Right.
and come back to focusing on the breath. And if you can do that, you're training your mind. And there's like studies
To
on
not
this.
think about just anything, just be
Exactly.
free.
To be in the moment, concentrating on what's happening now, not be distracted by your
By
thoughts.
things that you're worried about.
Really, it's you taking charge of your brain.
Right.
And it changes the brain.
I'm definitely gonna say right now, I have a problem with that. Like to meditate right now, that would be hard for me.
Do it for just put a little timer. Do it 5 minutes a day, and I promise you, if you stick to it for a couple of months, you will notice a difference in the way that you think.
And definitely,
your memory's definitely gonna get better. You're gonna notice.
There's a side note, but it's fucking funny. J. Cole's his most recent album, KOD. I don't know if you heard it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like he's like, cause the whole album is about like drugs and stuff. It's called I know it's called KOD. What does it stand for again? The King of Drugs or some bullshit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of the songs. He's like, it's pretty much saying like, oh, how could you like not take drugs, this and that? He's like, meditate. Like that was his option. Like, and I was like, and he was like, nah, I know it's corny. Like J. Cole's talking about how people might think it's corny and shit, but yeah, just meditate, da da da. I forgot what song that was, but
he has a point, man. Meditation is amazing. It's like exercise for your brain. That's what it is, and it changes the brain.
Right.
You know, there's parts of your brain that have to do with being like nervous. Okay. Right. Like the amygdala is a little part of the brain, and it releases like stress hormones, like cortisol and you know, things like that. But if you meditate, that part of the brain becomes less active. And the parts of your brain that have to do with like concentration and, you know, having hormones that make you feel good and happy, that gets elevated, right? And those parts of the brain get larger, right? So your memory improves, you become a happier person, you have more discipline.
That's crazy.
You take control of your mind.
Just by meditating.
It's a mental exercise. The same way, like, if you exercise, it takes care of your physical health.
Right.
And also, you know, your mental health.
For sure, too. Yeah. Definitely helps.
Well, meditation is, like, specifically mental health.
Just mental, yeah.
And it also helps with other things. Like, it's good for your immune system. It improves your immune system. It improves your physical health as well, right? Just in general. It's really, really good for people. I think it's, like, the next revolution and health, because your doctor, you go to your doctor, they'll tell you exercise.
They'll prescribe you with some pills.
Exactly, right? But generally, a doctor will tell you that it's a good idea for a regular person to just exercise on a regular basis, right? But it's also good for a person to meditate on a regular basis, and doctors are now starting to, like, you know, recommend that to people. Okay, you know, it's still growing. But there's a
it's definitely not as big as it should be.
Exactly, and but there is a really significant amount of research now showing how awesome it is for you, right? And I'm glad to see that there's rappers out there that are talking about this. I mean, I heard Gucci Mane on a song. He was like,
he's talking about it.
Yeah, he was like, I just got out the pool. I just got out the I don't know. He's
on his healthy shit because now he's not smoking or doing drugs. He's working out, so for sure I can see him saying that, definitely.
So he said something along the lines of I just got out the house, or I just got out the gym. I'm about to take a swim and meditate. Right,
that's dope.
And I love that.
Gucci, he looks super healthy. He looks super healthy. Like he's like totally against drugs now and stuff. So hey, man, that's better for him. Man. He looks great too, bro. Like
I think what happened to Gucci Mane is awesome for rap and for the world in general. You know, because
he was literally the postman. For freaking drugs. Like I remember
the trap god.
The trap god, bro. Before he got arrested and all that, and then he changed and stuff, bro. His stomach was like
huge.
Dude, he was taking lean. He would be taking everything, bro. And I would hear it in his music and shit, and you can tell the difference now how he raps and before. Like when he came out with Trap God and stuff, like he was like super slurring his words, barely caring. Like you could just see it in his energy, like in his voice and stuff.
He wasn't the same man at all.
Definitely not. Now he's like, he has abs now.
My God.
His dude is fucking ripped.
He's healthy, man. He knows what he's doing. He has a wife.
He has a wife now, so happy wife, happy life. Like, yeah, he's chilling, bro.
That's an amazing thing to see in rap, because rap has so many like stories that end up in tragedy. You know, because people that are rappers, man, they come from usually from fucked up places.
You know what it is though? People like hearing the bad stuff.
They do.
They never want to hear like, yo, go meditate. Yo, I'm about to go work out. Like, they don't want to hear that stuff.
They consider it bullshit a lot of the time. And it's just people like are in an environment where they're sort of trained not to give a fuck about that stuff. Because a lot of people don't have time to give a fuck about that stuff. Because if you're worried about somebody taking your life or not being able to eat.
You think they care about meditating?
You're not going to give a fuck about that. You got to take care of like the essential shit in your life.
At the moment, right now, yeah.
Exactly.
Then you could probably, but is that, that's how it is, bro. And in the hood and stuff, people are not worried about fucking meditating, or people are not even going to the hospital, bro. Like, people are just, like, oh, fuck it. They'll only go to the hospital, like, if, like, their fucking pee is, like, burning them or some shit. But overall, people are not caring about...
Well, you lived in the Bronx when you were younger.
Yeah, right? Definitely hellhole.
Exactly.
Super tough, but it was super cool. Like, I love the Bronx, bro. Yeah. Like, where I used to live at, everybody was, like... It was in the projects, and everybody lives right next to each other. Everybody was super cool to each other, but it was super tough, dog. I remember, bro, I always remember this one time I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Everybody used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On the block, so, excuse me, I remember I had a deck of cards, and some kid is literally asking me, like, oh, yo, let me go see the cards. Kid ran away instantly, bro. Like, that was just normal, let's just say that. Like, people stealing from you, or people fighting. I've gotten into so many fights in New York, like, just over the dumbest shit, like... And moving over here, you could literally see the difference. Like, like Miami and New York, completely two different worlds, bro. Like, I only got into a fight like once here, which was in high school. Like, literally, it's way completely different. Yeah. Living in the Bronx is was definitely dope. Like, I felt like it was worth. As a childhood, like, I needed it. Yeah. If not, I would have been a completely different person. Like, but yeah.
I mean. Especially like when we come here to Dade County and we see a place like Hialeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hialeah is a really weird place.
Hialeah is Cuba #2.
It's Cuba.
It's Cuba, bro.
Hialeah is Cuba because this is for people who don't know. I mean, Hialeah has more Cubans than any other city.
Definitely in the world. I mean,
in the U.S. outside of Cuba itself.
Probably in the world though.
In the world,
I honestly don't know any other place that has so many.
No, there's nowhere else. This is it.
Has to be, right?
This is it. So it's a very weird place because it's like Cuba, but it's inside of the U.S. And so there's a lot of things that you would see here that you wouldn't see in other places.
We also have the worst driving record. Like,
oh, we're terrible at driving.
People are here crashing daily.
I don't want to hear shit about Asian people anymore. We
for sure
fucking broke the world record for that.
And it's true. You could look it up. Like, I looked it up before and I've heard it on radio. I'm like, wow, bro. Like, I've crashed 30 like twice.
Don't drive in Hialeah. Like, go somewhere else. Walk to work.
Or take a bus or do something, bro. Yeah. Because people here, bro, like, let's just say merging. Like, if you're going to go on the merging line, bro, people are not letting you merge. Yeah. Like, people are just rude here. Like,
yeah, people don't signal. They don't put the blinkers on. That does not exist. There's no such thing as blinkers in Hialeah.
You know what the problem is? Everybody that's coming from Cuba are just getting their license. Yeah. And, bro, nobody's driving in Cuba. Let's be realistic, bro. Like, there's cars over there, don't get me wrong, but not everybody, like us, like here, how everybody has a car, not everybody has a car over there. Yeah. My parents would tell me, like, bro, it's horrible, dog. You come here for, like, what, 3 months and you get your license already, then you can drive a car?